So we're going to go back to Alexis McAdams, standing by live in Kenosha, and she is with David Hancock, a spokesperson for the Rittenhouse family. Alexis, over to you.
Martha, that's right. And Dave Hancock standing by to talk to us here. He says he actually just talked with Kyle Rittenhouse a few minutes ago. He's very excited that this trial has now been wrapped up here after hours and hours of deliberations that they weren't sure when they were going to get that verdict. Kyle Rittenhouse visibly shaken up and very emotional in court there. So I'm going to bring in Dave right now and step out of the way so we can talk with you, Dave. So tell me just first what Kyle just messaged you back. You've been trying to get a hold of him. I know you've been doing a lot of interviews. What did he say?
He just said thank you. He said thank you. I'm going to be going to see Kyle at some point later tonight. And yeah, I think it's starting to set in on me too. Like, this has been a long road, and yeah, I'm ecstatic.
Ecstatic, but when you came out, it was important that you said you didn't want to seem like you were celebrating, because you said Kyle's life is never going to be the same again, and people did lose their lives here that night in Kenosha, and you want to make sure that you respect those people who are watching as well from those families.
Absolutely. I'm excited that Kyle gets to move on with his life, but I said earlier, like, there are no winners. This is a serious case, and this was a serious moment for this country. So I hope people recognize that, and we call for calm. Please, calm across the board.
In that courtroom, you're standing there. You're actually right next to Kyle's mom and his two sisters, watching Kyle, as you've gotten to know him so well, break down in that courtroom, grab his knees after he heard that he had all charges dropped against him. What was that like?
I can't really put words to it, right? It's been such a long road. It's been such a hard fight. And just, look, Mark Richards and Corey Trofficy are just phenomenal men, phenomenal attorneys. I mean, they took this case on and they kept focused, and they didn't get involved in any of the media nonsense. So I can't even begin to measure the amount of thanks I have for those two men and for the job they did this past 2 weeks for Kyle to defend him in court. So
you said you tried to stay optimistic and tried to talk with the Rittenhouse family to keep them feeling like that as well, but those deliberations were longer than some people expected. And as those doors remained closed and those deliberations continued, did you get nervous at all?
I didn't personally. I took it as a sign that this jury was being serious and they were being thoughtful about every single line, because this is a major case. This was a major decision that has. They did the right thing. They took their time and they were cerebral about their decision. So
there were so many people talking about this, obviously, in the media, and then all the people who lived locally in Kenosha and all across the nation, as we saw people show up here, too, on the ground to watch this verdict come down from other states. People were kind of surprised. Did you think this was going to happen from the minute you picked up Kyle? You said when he left the juvenile detention center, you were confident the entire time?
Yeah, because, look, he defended himself. He ran. He defended himself. I got to know Kyle. I had 3.5 hours that very first day, and we talked about everything. And when he got in the car and we started talking about this, he broke down, and I really, I told him, I got your back from now until this thing is over, period. So that's what came out this week and last week. So we're happy that the jury came to that decision, and we're happy that Kyle gets to move on with his life now.
How pivotal was his testimony, do you believe, in this trial? Because I know you mentioned that you didn't tell his mom that he was going to testify because you thought she'd be a little bit nervous, but it seemed like it was a plan from the beginning that he was going to get up there.
Yeah, because he wanted to say his story, right? This was Kyle's story. This is Kyle felt threatened. Kyle felt like his life was in danger. So I think it was essential that he got to say his story from his perspective, what he experienced, why he was there. And so he did a phenomenal job. But the comfort in knowing that he was going to take the stand was that all the truth was on his side, period, full stop. The truth was on Kyle's side, every bit of it. So there was comfort in that when he got on the stand.
3 people shot that night, 2 of them killed. One of the people, the person who was shot and survived, was up there testifying as well in court. Kyle in the room as Gage Grosskreutz got up there. What did you think about that testimony, and how did that play in here?
I think that was huge because with the whole world watching and he's under oath on the stand, he had to admit the truth and the reality, which is he ran down Kyle, pulling a pistol out from his waist belt, and then he leveled that weapon against a 17-year-old kid on the ground in the most vulnerable position possible and pointed his weapon at Kyle's head, period, right? A block and a half from a line of armored vehicles and police, right, of which he was just standing. Not just a few minutes earlier, he was standing right next to. So he knew the police were there, and he took it upon himself to level a weapon at Kyle's head. And Kyle, he pulled the trigger one time, and he defended himself with control and composure. So we're glad and ecstatic that truth came out in trial today. But we call for calm, okay? This thing has been gone off the rails from the very first day, from August 25th, and there's just been so much false reporting and just time after time again, and just none of it was true. None of it was true.
Going off that false reporting and so much chatter that happened on both sides, and so many people closely watching this case that thought Kyle was guilty, thought Kyle was innocent until, even had his trial, those talks are happening. Is your team and is Kyle's family looking into filing a lawsuit?
I think there's going to be the potential exists for quite a few lawsuits coming up. This cannot be overlooked. What has happened to this country, the divide that has been put into this country based on just false reporting all the way back to last year, it needs to be looked at seriously, and it needs to be brought up, and it needs to be discussed.
How did this case affect Kyle? You mentioned he wants to move forward. He's enrolled in college, you mentioned, and looking forward to his future. But where does he go from here? Can he ever really live a normal life?
Well, we hope so. I think Mark mentioned it earlier. Time will give some anonymity. But we're going to do everything we can to ensure he is safe and he's protected and he gets to live as normal of a life as he possibly can right now. And we will take it as it comes. We'll look at the threats. We'll make sure that he is safe.
Overall, you were listening to the defense attorney talking after this trial wrapped up here, after all these long deliberations, and you said you couldn't wait to kind of go talk to him, shake his hand, and tell him that he did a great job. What could you say to him if you could talk to the defense attorney right now about how everything went in this case?
Thank you for being so thorough. Thank you for thinking through every part of this case. Thank you and Corey both for sticking by Kyle from day one. And thank you for being just so unbelievably professional in how you handled this defense of Kyle. There are no words that I can use to adequately portray just how professional those two men have been. I just think they're phenomenal people.
Going back into the courtroom, we could hear on and off throughout the past few days the judge going back up and talking about some of the things people were saying even about him. And he was talking about how, he read in the different papers that people thought he wasn't being fair or were upset with him not making his decision yet on a mistrial, since there were 2 hanging above that trial. Well, how did you think Judge Schroeder did here? He's been kind of the topic of conversation as well in the past few days.
I thought Judge Schroeder was, look, he wanted this community to come to a verdict on this, right? And so there was so much impropriety done by the prosecution that hasn't even been brought up because it didn't need to. The jury was thoughtful in their consideration, and they came back with the proper verdict, which is not guilty. But the judge let the jury take the evidence at hand and consider it and render it a verdict, period.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll send it back to you, as we just heard there from the Kyle Rittenhouse family here, saying that the teen is ready to move on and continue his life outside of Kenosha. Back to you.
What a day for them. Alexis, thank you very much. Alexis McAdams in Kenosha.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.